I've been watching anything new, but I've been going back. I've been going back and actually watching stuff recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Me and Sydney went back and we watched Harry recently.
Oh shit!
Just to see how well that aged.
First season?
Yeah, first season.
And
God, there are some things that have aged well.
yeah,
There are so many things that have not aged well at all.
I'm sure.
Yo, okay. When you were first watching Harry, was she as annoying? Did you register Harry as being really fucking annoying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I never really liked Harry as a character, even while I was watching it. Everything else I liked about it, but yeah, she was always kind of annoying, which is why when people were like, "Yo, Harry, I love the Harry series, and Harry's my favorite character," I'm like,
Yeah.
you need help.
Cope.
Cope, that's Cope.
do you know what's so weird going back and watching Harry is?
Yeah.
Just seeing Harry as a character and just seeing how many personalities it helped shaped.
Oh yes, she founded the what the fuck was the trope name? Kamidare.
Kamidare?
Yeah, that's like the new, there's like tsundere.
God dare?
Kumidare. Yeah, it's
What does that mean?
Kamidare dares who have a god complex.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's an actual thing.
That's a real thing, and Haruhi
shit.
is the one who started it.
She's the face of it all.
She's the face of Kamidare,
Yeah.
How dare her.
and I'm just not into that archetype.
Top pages this week. Yandere. Damn. Always on top.
Always.
Yandere Dere is second? What the fuck?
So fucking good.
No, because I going back and watching this, I was like, okay, first off, me and Cindy just had a big fucking nostalgia trip. Second off, I'm just like, damn, she doesn't stand out now as much anymore. But I was just trying to think because going back and watching this, she gives off such the energy of like, I'm not like other girls, tee-hee, I'm so quirky, I'm not like other girls. And then you think about it back then, I'm like, shit, back then she really wasn't like other girls.
No.
She was this shit was revolutionary.
Exactly.
And now everyone's trying to have like their own quirk, their own like weirdness to them.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like Haruhi. There's a reason why Haruhi is just like such a timepiece because so many characters now are pretty much based off of Haruhi.
Yeah.
Haruhi ran so all these other Kamidares could walk, dude.
Also made me think like if we had the modern anime community today, how insufferable would some of these old anime have been with the modern day anime community, man, with the modern day fucking Twitter spoiler ass communities and all this kind of shit. Imagine trying to keep up with Death Note if we had the weekly discussions we did today,
God.
man.
I don't even want to think about it. That's genuinely sends a shiver down my spine just thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good.
I'm totally fine with that.
Like you literally just like you would get spoiled before every single week, before every new episode comes out, man.
You'd find out like L dies like 2 months before it actually happens.
Right?
He dies? I thought he went on vacation. What the fuck?
He went to the Bahamas. Never came back.
No fucking way.
Yeah.
Before someone comments, it's too late. If you've been spoiled by that, you should have watched Death Note by now.
Yeah. You had like what, 20 years?
I in my head, it's in the same realm as like the Sixth Sense. They were dead all along, or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Spoiler.
Wait, what?
Yeah, like I didn't even watch the movie, but I'm like,
Yeah.
it's fair game. That's pop culture. I should have known that.
Yeah.
Like it's on me.
Oh my
Do you
god.
remember what show, or it doesn't need to be anime, what show or game you thought was your peak when you were like 13, 14?
Bro, I thought Hannah Montana was like the fucking peak of my life when I was like 13.
Did you like unironically?
I unironically was obsessed
Not a
with it.
meme?
Not a meme. Like I unironically was obsessed with like the Disney Channel.
Yeah.
And Hannah Montana was like 13.
So okay, then in that case, as a long time Hannah Montana glazer, well,
Well, hold on, man.
Of trash
I'm
taste.
not a long time.
Of trash
glazer.
taste.
There was a period of my life
Yeah.
where I was a.
Did your homies know
glazer.
about this?
No, I couldn't tell. Are you kidding me? Are you fucking kidding you? I told my friends. By the way, I was already getting bullied for playing COD.
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
they were all playing.
yeah.
Yeah.
You think I could tell them I was watching Hannah Montana? And that I knew the hoedown throwdown.
What if they were also secretly like really into it?
I mean, that's the thing about kids. They all were pretty into something dumb.
Of course.
They could have been made fun of.
Of
But,
course.
you know,
Yeah.
like that's what growing up is and
That's-
learning
yeah.
not to give a fuck.
Oh my god, that's the most like fucking frustrating thing now as an adult that I see. Like
I felt
kids,
down about this, and everyone else had a fun.
yeah, that like kids today go through where they're like, oh, you know, they almost feel like embarrassed or whatever to be like into a really, really, you know, maybe.
Yeah.
You know, subjectively shitty thing or like something that you shouldn't be into. And it's like, bro, that's like the perfect time to get into all sorts of dumb shit.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I think it's like in early 2000s and early 2010s, but mainly late 2000s. I feel like
Yeah.
where like Disney Channel like had like was at like its peak.
Yeah.
In terms of, I felt like it was at its peak at least for the Disney image.
Yeah.
In terms of like young adults, to me, I think it just catered to the part of my brain that was like, man, it just seems so fun. They're just fucking like doing a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm stuck in a fucking field in Wales. And then I would watch them do this like sports day thing with all these actors that were on the shows that I liked.
yeah.
And I think like, wow, this was just so cool.
How did you get into Hannah Montana? I never asked you.
I don't know. You know, I think like, that's a very valid question.
What was your first exposure to Hannah Montana? Was it on TV?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think
Right.
like for me, I think as a confused 13-year-old boy, in terms of like, I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do in life.
Sure.
And I you know, and this is it's around the age where everyone kind of starts putting pressures on you to start thinking about things.
Yeah.
Even though
They
you're
start
like,
putting pressures on you to have a
direction.
personality. Yeah,
Like they
direction,
want
yeah.
you to know, like even if you're not like, I want to be an astronaut, not like that. But I mean, like,
Yeah.
I feel like even like parents or teachers, they want to know what type of kid you are.
Yeah.
They want to know, are you the science kid? Are you this kid?
Are you the artsy kid? Are you the sporty kid?
And like for
Yeah.
me, it was like almost even decided before I even joined high school, like which kids were like the theater kids.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for
And
sure.
I almost like, because I wasn't a theater kid in primary school, I almost wasn't like allowed to join the theater. I felt like, and
Right.
I like when I tried to, it was kind of felt like I got a bit of pushback where they're
Right.
like, well, we're not going to cast you or anything because you're not one of the like theater kids. Not that, and also I was pretty dog shit as well. But like I was never given the opportunity.
Did you want to be a theater kid though?
I wanted to like try theater. Like
Yeah.
I wanted to, because I thought it looked fun.
Yeah.
Like, it looked interesting. And
Yeah.
I would watch all these TV shows and I would think like, man, it looks so fun. And I wanted to try, but then I felt like there was never that environment that, because I didn't start the moment I was at the first opportunity, I was kind of not given a space to try.
Right.
Which I feel like is kind of rough as a kid because you can't communicate that. You're not like, hey, I just want to try this. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what you get is like, oh no, we just don't think you're a good fit for this or whatever. And it's like, okay, well, all right, fine.
Yeah,
I'll just
yeah.
move on. Like, but I think for this was kind of like that kind of, and Hannah Montana was, I guess, I don't know why this show in particular resonated with like 13-year-old me so much.
Yeah.
I think I liked the idea that she was in school, but also doing shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I think I was like,
She was on the grind.
she was on that grind. Because I was like, that's so cool that she's just like me and she's in school.
Yeah.
But she's like also
she's got
like
this double life.
She's also like doing so much cool shit.
Yeah.
Like, I think
Yeah.
I wish I could like do that.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'd go to school and I'd be like, I've got half it down. Everything else sucks though. Like, I'm doing half of the Hannah Montana. Why is the good half? You know, like
Yeah.
And so I think I don't know, something about it. I was just so jealous, I think, and like I wanted to live this life where I could live this boring life, but then also do like this cool, amazing stuff that
Yeah,
I never
yeah.
got to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's so weird that Hannah Montana, of all things, kind of gave me that the most. Because I watched like a High School Musical, and I'd be like, that's fun, but like didn't really feel like I ever like it made sense. And
Yeah.
for some reason, this fucking show as a kid permeated my existence.
I mean, I don't think Hannah Montana was the only show on the Disney Channel during this time.
no,
that
I
kinda had that
ate
theme,
it.
right?
I ate it all up, bro. Like
Yeah.
I loved like the fucking Zach and
Zack and
Cody,
Zach and Cody.
the Drake and Josh. Like, I think that was Disney, right? Or
Yeah,
Nickelodeon?
Yeah,
that was
Drake
Drake.
and Josh. Like
pretty
all these
sure.
shows I fucking ate up. But I think this was the one that like definitely stuck with me the most for some reason. And I can't even tell you why. Because like I recognize how fucking dumb this is. I'm a fully grown man. I'm nearly 30. Why was I obsessed with this fucking thing? And like, look, the reason why I'm telling you about this is because I don't really care. I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could easily just never.
Oh no,
I'd be
Drake
some
and Josh was
alpha bro.
Nickelodeon. You're right.
Yeah, it was
You're
Nickelodeon.
right.
I could easily just move on and pretend like I never had this phase in my life. But I think it's also funny, and hey, maybe it'll help someone out there who's also maybe likes something they feel like they shouldn't like.
Yeah,
And
I
help
feel,
their
I feel
kinda-
as well as like, you know, as you can see now, you know, you're more open to talking about it. You're not so much embarrassed
fuck.
about
No,
it because
man.
you're an adult now, right?
Bro,
It's
I knew
like-
the dance. I knew
Yeah.
the hoedown throwdown. There was a dance in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was the first movie I ever pirated because I was so desperate that I figured out how to pirate because I was like, I want to watch Hannah Montana. So yeah, I just got like super fucking into Disney, and I think for me,
Disney shows or Disney movies?
Disney shows. The movies didn't, because the Disney show and what I think they tried to sell, and very successfully at that time, was like this kind of like this to teenagers specifically. They sold a very good like, yeah, man, like you can just do whatever you want. Like life will be great. Just pursue your dreams.
Yeah.
Like that. I felt like other shows didn't really like sell me on it as much, but also I think sold me on a lot of like Americana as well, which I think is why I got so obsessed with a lot of American things.
I kind of had something similar to that where it was like, not so much an obsession, but something I really, really like unequivocally loved. But I was just kind of too embarrassed at the time to admit that I loved it.
Yeah.
I was fucking obsessed with Britney Spears. I fucking loved Britney Spears music. And it was like, it was so bad. She makes fucking fantastic music, right? And it's like, nowadays, so much of that recognition is finally out there. And, people just like love her as just an icon of the time, right? But, when I was like 12, 13 years old, and, it wasn't really like it didn't so much fit, I guess, like the gender norms, if you will. Like, like
fucking Hannah Montana.
Yeah,
bro.
let's say with Hannah Montana, right? It's like, oh, boys shouldn't be listening to Britney Spears. And especially, during this time as well, all my friends around me were just like, Britney Spears, fucking whatever.
Yeah.
Especially my dad. It was so hard to like go home.
Oh, you think my dad who's a football geezer?
Yeah,
Like,
it was so hard. It was so hard to sit there and listen to Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd with my dad, and then secretly be like, yeah, but I want to listen to that new Britney Spears song though.
Yeah.
But now I'm just like, yeah, fuck it. I've got like her vinyls now. It's fucking great.
It's so strange, and I think if I can remember, if I get old and if I have kids at some point, I hope I can remember how I felt watching Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
And I can, whenever if a kid in the future has like some strange hobby that I don't quite understand, I hope I remember that feeling of watching the show.
Yeah.
And I guess like what it gave me at the time, which is so weird because I don't think the show ever tried to do anything like that. Never tried to be anything deep.
Yeah.
But I think for me, it just came at the right time where it like meant like so much to me.
Well, it's like you kind of like looking back, you don't realize how much of the shit that happens to you in that part of your life basically forms everything about your personality.
Absolutely.
It forms how you deal with pressure, how you deal with the tough times, and also just how, how your personality forms as an adult as well.
Yeah.
It's because it's like, you don't realize that it's, as an adult, you realize it's a lot harder to unlearn something than it is to learn something for the first time. And sometimes watching shows like this, even though it's like just weird Disney Channel or Nickelodeon sitcoms, you're like, damn, I want the life that they had. Because I think for me,
there's a lot of that too.
Yeah, I think for me, I don't know if anyone fucking remembers this, because this was back when I was like a kid. Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Yeah, I remember that shit.
I mean, it's kind of the same style.
Yeah, that's kind of like the same style. That was
sure.
like constantly on TV. And
It made life seem so interesting.
right? Because she was like, I was like, yo, this girl has this secret fucking. She's a normal girl, but she has this secret life as a witch. She has a talking cat as well. Yo, what?
I think it just made, especially, growing up in like fucking a bunch of fields and countryside where it's like nothing happening.
Yeah.
It made life seem so exciting.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, this could be my life.
Yeah. It's like, this is happening somewhere out there in the world.
Yeah. Because, at the time, I think she was quite young as well when she filmed it. So I was like, man, that's crazy. Like, she's kind of like
easy to relate to.
Yeah. You're like, damn, she's got so much, even like, as a 13-year-old, I didn't like see the show as real. Like I knew it was actors. And I think also that helped as well. I was like, oh my God, so many like teenagers are doing what I think is so cool.
Oh yeah. And I feel that's why these kinds of Disney shows and Nickelodeon shows were just so impactful to a lot of people in our age group, right? Because it's like, oh wow, there's these like kids who are roughly the same age as me doing way cooler shit than I am.
Yeah. I'm sad I missed the whole like High School Musical phase actually.
I never got into High School Musical.
I never got into High School Musical.
That specifically. More of the other stuff.
Or like Glee, that was another one as well. Which I was just like, whatever with.
I didn't really like the musical stuff. I was like, I just like the funny acting stuff. That was always more fun.
The sitcom-y stuff.
Yeah, and it's always more fun for me until I realized, you grow out of it and you're like, yeah, okay, time to move on.
I never got into it, but anyone who was into it just seemed like they're having so much fun.
Yeah.
And you know what? I'm jealous of that in a sense.
That's true.
I was definitely like, I'm better than these guys. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think they were having more fun than me.
It's like, now that I think about it, maybe I wasn't. Maybe I wasn't better.
Yeah, man, I had so much fun. It was so much good times. But like, I think it's fun to talk about now and look back on and be like, it was maybe a bit odd, but,
So
but it was a lot of fun.
How then, as someone who loved Hannah Montana growing up, like how did you personally see what became of Miley Cyrus?
I didn't really care for it.
You didn't really care?
No, I was kind of like, okay. I never really like her music.
Oh, well, fair, yeah.
The songs were always the part I didn't really like in Hannah Montana, which is kind of
hilarious,
a big part. Yeah, whenever she started like releasing music, I was like, what is this? Is Hannah Montana?
Go back to acting.
What the heck is this? What the heck? Yeah, I kind of fell out of it pretty quickly.
Oh, fair.
You know, you move on.
That's fair.
Yeah.
You know, as a kid, you sometimes, as an adult, you know, because I feel like now it takes me quite a while to move on from stuff that I like. Like to find new things, I feel like it takes quite a lot.
Really? I think it's pretty fast because there's so much things now.
I don't know. I feel like I like the stuff I like, and it takes me a while to find something new, like as in like a genre or a new type of hobby. It takes me quite a while to pick it up.
Maybe, but
And when you're a kid, it's like boom, 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 boom.
I think it's just because you had more time to
For
invest in,
sure.
right?
Yeah, because you were like, damn, what are we going to do this Sunday? I got an important Hannah Montana episode. I got to watch Simpsons later. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Play some card.
Just
Yeah.
stacked on Saturdays.
Yeah, you're like this. Saturday's full, Mom. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I got things to do in front of the TV.
Oh no, actually, I feel like as an adult, it's infinitely easy. At least not really as an adult. I would say more this time period. It's infinitely easier for me to slip into a fucking rabbit hole because sometimes you just
Well, it's
get
just like targeted.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like-
Because sometimes you just get recommended a random video or random thing that you never would have been exposed to like before. And now you're like, that looks pretty fun actually. Like, I remember just like I would never have, for example, found any interest in what's the thing like fucking
outdoor boys, the camping
outdoor
stuff.
boys throwing magnets into rivers and seeing what fucking comes up.
Magnet fishing? Yeah.
Magnet fishing. You know, that's not.
Yeah.
If not for the internet, there is no part of my brain that would have thought that this was like a hobby or
or
an
a thing,
interest.
yeah.
But now that I see it, I'm like, damn, that looks.
It's like, how much are magnets? Let me look it up.
Yeah, it's like I wouldn't think this is a hobby, but if someone gives me a magnet, I'll be like, let's see what we can uncover with
That's
it.
true. That is true.
Also, there's
Japan magnet fishing when?
Ooh.
That was hard.
I'm sure there's a ton of crazy shit like Megador River, for instance.
I wonder if you need a permit or some shit for that. In
Probably.
Japan. You know, probably
No,
in Japan.
Yeah, you probably need a fucking license for it or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No fun allowed,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
so I feel like in this day and age, it's just so much easier just to find like niche hobbies because there's always a community for it. You know, it's much easier to find a community for it.
Maybe you felt that way, Connor, because there is so much stuff happening, and because back then you had all the time in the world to just like almost 100% put your focus in on something, so you could go a lot deeper and be more, I guess, obsessed with it. Whereas now you could still be as obsessed with it and even potentially be going deeper into that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But because there's so much other stuff happening, not just in your life, but also just, in the world of entertainment and the world around us, that it doesn't feel like you're going as deep into it, potentially.
Yeah,
you never felt like you wanted to learn a musical instrument?
Yeah, always. Every time I see the saxophone, I'm like, shit, I want to learn that.
Well, why don't you?
It's a lot of work. Maybe in the future when I have a bit more time.
I mean, I want to learn sax as well, so we can learn it together.
You'll gap me.
No,
You'll be like, chord. I'm like, what's that?
you can't play chords on
No,
saxophone.
I don't know. Yeah, right? See, I don't know that. I don't know this. I don't know any of this, Joey.
We can learn it together.
It's okay.
That's the fun part
Oh,
about
my
doing a
Lord.
hobby together. It doesn't matter if one is better than the other.
True,
It's the journey. It's not
about
the destination.
It's about the friends we make.
It's about the friends we made along the way.
Oh, true. Yeah.
You know,
you're
when you
right.
give up on this YouTube thing and you have infinitely more time to just
I'll
do
become
whatever.
professional sax player.
Yeah, we're gonna hear from Connor like 20 years later. He's like, yeah, he was playing in the jazz club, like on a saxophone for some reason.
That go hard.
Yeah, I mean, like I went to Thailand this time, and my dad, is at the age where he's retired and stuff. Just randomly just got into fucking drawing, and I'm like,
Word?
and I'm like, I'm fucking jealous of you, Dad. He's never showed an interest in drawing, and he tells me, yeah, I woke up one day, and I'm like, I want to try learning how to draw.
It's a very meditative thing, I think, to draw.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
When you do it relaxing.
Yeah. And I'm jealous because anyone who's seen any drawing videos of me, knows I have negative art skills, but But
Me too.
But sometimes I feel like
You can learn to.
exactly.
Well, I mean,
exactly.
watching Felix's video, you're like, yeah, it's just a learning thing.
Exactly.
Everything's just a skill.
It's
You
a
know,
skill.
it's
Felix, yeah.
It's about
he's-
persistence. It's about putting in the work.
yeah. I mean, there's some talent involved, but
course.
it's at the end of the day, no one gets anywhere without any skill.
Exactly.
Without
Learning.
any learning and practice and putting time into it.
Absolutely.
And I'm just reciting the entire message of ping pong right now.
you got to get good. You put the
You gotta
hours
put
in.
the hours in. Put the work
So
in.
hopefully you're putting some hours in something you love, and it's satisfying.
like
for you.
Hannah Montana.
Like Hannah Montana learning the hoedown, throwdown. Nothing more
Exactly.
satisfying in life.